Hey y'all, welcome again to another thing with Love Beau. Now for those of y'all who've been here before, you know that I've gotten into the habit of reciting a list poem that introduces the audience to the space, what we're trying to share, what I'm going through, what this process is about, and what we are experiencing together, right, audience and quote-unquote performer. Last week I realized, holy shit, if I continue this repetitive reiteration of this original line, do I possibly inhibit the goals of this journey? Right? Because the goal of this journey is to allow myself to expand, to explore, to experiment, to really develop a strong foundation of self-love that's adaptive in the universe. Now, if I utilize a straight poem, month after month after month, do I get caught in that sequence of what that exploration can be? So this month, there is no initial poem. You just know what you've always known. You show up to a place. Someone is going to share. Based on where you're at in your life and where you're at today will determine how open and receptive you are. We will try to find places where we connect. There will be places where we don't. In those places, we have an opportunity to explore and challenge ourselves to what that means and is saying to us in this moment. Every month, I also bring up a special guest who likes to join the journey with me. This month, we are very pleased to have the wonderful Mayda Del Valle. She is phenomenal, has a tremendous number of accolades, which don't matter because in this space we are trying to allow a deeper sense of humanity through our art. So please give it up for Mayda.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Good to be here. I brought a treat both for you and myself. This notebook is from when I was 14 years old, so it's like 22 years old now. And I'm going to read a little journal entry. This would be May 29th, 1993. Shit. School's out! I'm so happy. Oh my god. I went to Adri's house yesterday. After a big bochinche, we went to McDonald's. They dropped me off at his house and I got to see him. I'm so happy. I mean, after all this time, it was like, whoa, man, he has to go to the summer camp on the 12th. I think I'm almost sure. Only 2 weekends off. Oh, how depressing. But he said he was going to spend both weekends with me and that he was going to miss me. Oh, guess what? The PR Day Parade is on June 5th. No, the 5th. The 6th. I'm going to be in it. Yeah! Man, I'll be like, hey, what's up? Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so cool. At Adri's yesterday, after we got back from his house, he wrote down his number, and later on he called and said he was coming over. So he did. I was like, yes. I saw him 2 times in one day. Bellissimo. Man, I'm glad I visited him yesterday. I mean, I ain't saying nothing much for fear of discovery, but he's a trip because my mom used to read my notebook. He's so sweet, and I want to see him before he leaves. Bad. I hope I do. He called today, but his door rang, and I don't know what happened, but he didn't call back. Oh well, gotta wait till tomorrow or Monday. Ooh, Monday's Memorial Day. Hopefully I'll go for the practice of the group Yucayeke. It's a Puerto Rican folkloric dance group, but I'm definitely calling on Monday. I doubt he's got school. Hopefully he'll be home. Well, gotta go. See ya! I haven't even looked at that in fucking forever. Okay, so, shortly after that, well, not shortly, maybe a couple years after, several years after that, I broke up with my first love and developed something of an addiction for guys who are into hip-hop culture. So, as I was driving through Washington State one time after a show, mending my broken heart and nursing myself back to balance, I was in the car doing what I usually do after a breakup, listening to hardcore hip-hop. So I was crying over Wu-Tang Clan, and I realized that I had dated every element of hip-hop. B-boys, DJs, MCs, and So, great. So this is Elemental. I like him. Fresh faded, jeans sagging in a b-boy stance with fat laces, and he got to be a sneaker addict. I thought I had it with these hip-hop cats, but I'm addicted and I can't break the habit. First time, I fell for the signer, the street artist, scriber, tagger, the graffiti writer. This cat had a mean streak, and I don't mean the kind you write with. Figured he'd give me the outline of love, but never fill it in with substance. I got sprung off the wide tip, he leaving paint drips on subway cars and tear drips from unanswered calls. I just wanted to be the white wall he left his tag on. He was a burner, leaving ashes in place of spray cans, me shaking them, listening to the hollow clack of them, pressing the fat cap in, but just getting the hiss of empty promises. It's no wonder all he wrote was his name, a misnomer pseudonym, because he'd use big words, but never lived the possibility of them. Say things like our devotion was revolution. We'd have marriage, house, and children, but concepts like honesty, monogamy, and loyalty were foreign. So I wrote over his story with my pen, painted over his lies, hopped the next train, vowed to never let no one in again till I got to the next stop and met number 2, because I like him. Fresh faded, jeans sagging in a b-boy stance with fat laces, and he got to be a sneaker addict. Next time, I fell for the b-boy. Talk as smooth as his top rock. He said, your mind is a cipher and I'm about to catch wrecking it. I got shocked, so I stopped and I reckon I'd go for a hespin. Made my heart flutter fast like his footwork. He stopped mid-six-step, blow me a kiss and a quick smirk. I caught the breeze off his windmill and froze like a frosty windowsill. Damn, that's ill. No step, no step, no stutter to his step. I just wanted to write his rhythm with my ink and quill. I had some time to kill, so I figured we'd chill, roll a blunt, take a hit. He could rock a move and hear me spit. Came to that point in the path of lovers where the road splits, decisions got to be made, so I decided to hit. It got complicated. He had a girl and I was getting out this situation that had been totally overrated. Though our mutual situations have been clearly stated from the get, potential for shit to be messy meant I'd have to tread lightly, and I can't half step when it comes to matters of the heart. I treat the men in my life like they was my art. Take the time to learn their bodies, let my fingertips read patches of skin till I got it memorized, and it comes to mind easy like my hottest line. See, I'm a crystal glass and love's got to keep me full, cause half empty's just half-assed to me. So I told my b-boy he just had to pass on me. Baby, be my breakbeat, hit the floor and let loose, but don't try to loose my emotions, cause I gotta live in reality, not the fantasy of Beach Street. But I like him, fresh faded, jeans sagging in a b-boy stance with fat laces, and he got to be a sneaker addict. I thought I had it with these hip-hop cats, but I'm addicted and I can't break the habit. That's half of it. I had a pattern of dating ninjas. This is a haiku for ninjas. I want to say thanks. Leaving was the dopest gift you ever gave me. After much investigation and profound analysis, I've recently come to the conclusion that the men I've dated must be ninjas. These motherfuckers' disappearing acts is classic. Saturday afternoon kung fu flicks ain't got shit on these dudes. Their ability to judo chop a heart in half and leave you feeling like you've been blindsided by an unusually large semi-truck is unparalleled. I mean, really, who else would be so adept in the ways of disappearing at the drop of a hat? Who else's love could cut you like a stone-sharpened ninjato sword? Who else could leave you blinded by a smokescreen of insecurities and confusion? Who else would have a body double or alter ego? It's the only thing that can explain the sudden, strange, and stealthy shift from the sweet, caring, charismatic, clean-up, after-yourself man to the sloppy, never calls your ass back, broke, trifling refusal to commit motherfucker you're left with. They've got to be ninjas. Given the extraordinary findings I have come across, I thought it would be a great disservice to women the world over if I didn't share what I've learned. So ladies, if you suspect you too may be dating a ninja, here are some tips. 1. Ninjas are busy people. When they don't return phone calls for weeks at a time, don't take it personally. They're simply on ultra-secret reconnaissance missions and can't contact us for their own protection. 2. Ninjas have feelings too. Remember to treat them like you would a chia pet or puppy. Shower them with plenty of love and affection, as they tend to be moody and grumpy. When they say things like, why do you keep asking me where I've been? Why are you so insecure? Remember to check yourself. 3. Ninjas are undercover, so public displays of affection are a no-no. It's not that he doesn't want folks to know you're dating in order to keep his options open. He's just always on the job and doesn't want to make you the possible target of a CIA-led operative to take over ninja intelligence. Duh! 4, ninjas get confused when he says things like, girl, I love you, you're the shit. Then weeks later says, I'm not ready for the commitment of a relationship. Remember, he's got a lot on his mind, what with the nunchucks, impersonations, and assassinations. Give a ninja a break. 5, due to the secretive and oftentimes turbulent nature of their work, ninjas don't always get paid on time. Be prepared to pay for gas, meals, movies, miniature golf, and other miscellaneous expenses. Just chalk it up in the name of love. There's nothing like a happy ninja. 6, never question a ninja's manhood. Those issues in the boudoir are not PED, but simply your ninja practicing his stealth and speed. Much like their secret poison dart killing techniques, which can render their target dead in a matter of minutes with no knowledge on the part of the victim. Ninjas are quite adept at the art of stealth fucking. They can be in and out before you even notice. Moving on to the heart of this discussion, because ninjas are so often misunderstood, and the women who love ninjas are even more misunderstood, I decided to help found an organization that will aid in the support of our fellow sisters and help disseminate this valuable information. So today I'm proud to announce the official founding of the NNWA, the National Ninja Lovers Women's Association. I'm not only the president, I'm also a member. Okay, this is some newer stuff. Last couple of pieces, very short little pieces. Okay. Chastity. He makes me miss you. Almost makes me jealous the way he knows your morning song and curves, the way he sings your sweet water shorelines, how your bitter sticks to his tongue, how your wind puts the husk in his voice, how your twisted geometry is his favorite puzzle piece. Albany Park. Lauren Hill. You see, I loved hard once, but the love wasn't returned. In the 3rd floor apartment, you jokingly told me I'd have closet space in. In the bay window, you told your mother you wanted to build me a window seat in. Maybe you're reading a copy of my new book. On page 161 is the poem about my broken pen, my favorite one. You read how it wrote lines, so smooth, so even, so unbroken in blue ink. Lines so Spanglish, so Piñeros, Cisneros, narratives so you, so Chicago, they turn the river flow back in the right direction. You read how it broke, how I took it apart, tried to fit it back together again, but the pieces won't fit no more. The order of reassembly fucked with the function, and now it still functions, still writes, but don't click like before. Some inner spring or latch lost or stretched too far, extended itself over the silent of a haiku's 18th syllable. It still got ink, so much to stay, still tell you, but won't retreat. The ballpoint stays exposed, always vulnerable, ready to write. Okay. Haiku triptych, untitled. A blue moon's beam on the hollow of your back where I rest my hand light. You drift over me, a feather in flight. We are a dancing river, melting into spring, an ancient song carved in stone, wanting to be heard. Cloudburst. You were too cloudburst, too temporary, not hurried or rushed, just not able to stay here. In this corner of my home here, you couldn't stay here on this bed of bone, the sliver of now you're gone, and I still see you, sometimes have to speak to you as if there wasn't a corpus of scripture, of unsaid between us. When we laugh together, people watch and wonder what holy hell of a hurricane passed between those two.
You good? You good? Want to do more? Want to do another? Do another. Do one more.
Do another one.
Sure.
Okay.
It's so short.
It's for the naughty Catholic girl, and me, and anyone else maybe who. Holy day. Your tongue was a sacrament, a holy day I would fast for, the miracle I kept cloistered in the sanctuary of my mouth like a shameful confession. There was no shame when we feasted on each other. Gluttonous offerings, we baptize our bodies in the warmth of a fragrant bath in preparation for our holy hour when we became a humming hymn. Love, where has your conscience gone? There's no grace in the silence. You consecrated me a sacrilegious solitude, a litany of fervent prayers petitioning to pilgrimage your shape one more time. The scent of our Last Supper still hangs over the altar of my bed. We are holy water ceremony turned ash, your tongue turned relic from the worship of my skin. Break. January 26, 2015, 9:45 a.m. in black ink during green tea. Am I a container big enough for all this sweetness, all this love? That's what we fear, maybe. That all the love someone got for us, we won't be able to hold. That we'll explode from too much love, that we're too small for all our beloved has to offer. And if we only knew how far we could stretch, how wide we could spread, if we were willing to break from out all that smallness. That's what I think. Maybe we too scared to break into something too beautiful to imagine.
Mayda Del Valle. That was amazing.
Yay, love.
Yeah. So every month, as we continue on this process, we also sort of try to do our best to address the previous month, or I do my best to address the previous month. So for those of y'all who weren't here last month, some of the things I grew to understand and learn regarding love was that I was able to free myself from the language of living in a 20-year-old's narrative by reciting a poem that I had done for 1,000 times over 3 years, which caused me to live in this edited idea of what my love life would always be. So we let that go. And then we recognized that we couldn't allow ourselves the judgment in our presentation nor the presentation itself. Because if we're really going to explore this thing, we're going to get beyond the edit, we're going to get beyond the language, because our sense and understanding of love does not only exist in our words or our actions, it's even in the silent spaces of our understanding, our willingness to allow. There is love in that non-action, right? So we also had that. Did we have a third? Because we always like threes. Writers always want 3s, 5s, 7s, just like Jesus said. Was there a third last month? Perhaps not. Okay, fair enough. Because if I don't recall it, it doesn't matter. Because the other thing is we get too hung up on the details, which is what keeps us hung up on the past. If we allow ourselves to flow through the entire stream of time, we can allow ourselves that faith that we will hold memory in our body and our being so that the facts are not necessary. Because all we really ever need the facts for is how to live a more fulfilling, effective life. So if we can have the same experience without relying on the recall of a detail, why get hung up in the past? Correct. So, this first poem is from this book I wrote called oh, that's interesting. Sing-song as a method of coping with one's insecurity. Check. Done. Because we are going to strip the performer out of this space once a month. Every other month I am sharp as a tack. Your $25 will be worth it. But this month is all about the devaluing of our symbols. So this poem's called, I want to start with this, it's called Give Yourself Permission. To pat yourself on the shoulder. Waiting on parents can take a lifetime. To take better care of yourself. Why feed those who profit on the broken? To listen for what isn't tangible. What eyes grasp is severely limited. To want from places other than fear. If others judge, that's their cross to languish on. You're not too sensitive. Feel. Let them hate on your tears and joy. You are not a robot. Give yourself permission to question the other boys. See the powerless in their socialized declarations about women. No one taught you what healthy relationships are. Give yourself permission to become self-taught. To turn down what doesn't resonate with core. You're not missing out. That party last week was just like all past escapes. Remember Einstein.
Why expect differently? Meth is not for you. Truly, I see you. Trying everything once is an immature mantra. Give yourself permission to sleep more. Success is not found rejecting the reality of rest. Give yourself permission to defend yourself in all ways. Always. To do what does not originate from others' skewed sense of approval. To release yourself from expectations bondage. To be more example than showmanship. To listen to your own advice, Beau. Give yourself permission to embrace who you are fully, reiterated in a world that still only rewards the pieces. To love more, double serious with a Fabergé egg on top. To wander where nothing is being sold. To walk away from this night only with what serves you. Thank you. The reason why I wanted to start with this poem is that for the last 4 months we have been on a serious bummer train of just suffering and internalizing all that did not happen that we really wanted to happen. Right? And all of these new poems, that entire journey, were so necessary. We couldn't insert laughter, we couldn't insert family, we couldn't insert drama, because we hadn't arrived and earned that place yet. We had to allow the course of this sorrow to run its path, right? And then it occurred to me at some point, as I was feeling sorry for myself for the however many months and days and nights in a row, and granted, this is not a blanket thing. It just felt that way. There were also moments of joy and moments of this and inspired that, and I grew here, and what a celebration. No doubt. But there had been something just tugging and weighing at me that I had recognized was causing me to expend more energy than necessary to move forward. And I wanted to clear the way so that every moment from that point on would be richer. So I've been cleansing and getting it out. And those who have stayed and been a part of this journey have really allowed it. And now we're at this place where self-forgiveness, where releasing guilt for who I am and what I didn't do and what never happened with love, is allowing me to expand beyond this sense of what did not occur with the other, the external, the symbolic piece, the thing that for most of my life I've always tried to drive myself towards and attract to me as a means to silently ignore what needed to be addressed here. This other that has plagued and benefited me my whole life. This other that I've created as the contrast, the wall, the thing for me to fight against, has allowed me to succeed in ways so many have yet to do, and has also inhibited growth that so many have already achieved. And it is this place that we shall strike this symbol and allow me to not present as much in the writing edit. So if you're ready, Sarah, shall we have the bag? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, language. I mean, here's the thing. I send out a Facebook thing and I'm like, yeah, we're going to explore love, try to understand love through love poetry that I wrote and love poetry that I used to write. Right? How much of actual love is wrapped up in poems? Actual love that we experience, that we remember on our deathbed, that keeps us going when the days are tough. How much of that is actually about the poems? Isn't it so much more about the energy that a poem may give us, or the seed it may help us have in an experience with another? Because all of love is actually in our human interaction. And then the humanity we impose or project upon things as it brings so much out of us. So this is our sharing tonight. You all did a little thing. So I'm going to pick out little things as I feel. And each little thing I pick out, anonymous, no doubt, and I'm not going to blow up anyone's spot, even though I know all of your handwriting by heart already. I'm going to make up a poem using your energy, my energy, because if we're really going to play experiment, explore, share the experience, let's do it. Let's share what you got, share what I got. Let's put it together in this. Right? And then we have some other poems I already wrote, so that's good too. We have little fallbacks. This could go horribly. This could go stunningly. But at the end of the day, it's going to go fulfillingly, because if we don't go there to find out, then where the fuck is our limit of humanity? If we're going to stretch or not? We only going to stretch the part of our arm I'm comfortable stretching? Fucking bullshit. Oh, this one has a smiley face, or an emoticon, I think that's what they call them now. Okay. This is adorable handwriting. Alright, this is a great poem. No way. This is called First Kiss. In the shadow of 6th grade, DuckTales after school, we talked on phones with curly lines. Couldn't move further than 3 feet of the source. I never wanted to be more than 10 feet from you. It never occurred to me that you and I were not only from different worlds, but were trying to attack the things we were supposed to be in each other. Who knew that your brothers had made you into this? Who knew that Oklahoma would drive me to you so? Who knew that it would be the name Tori that would hold memory in my mind as she who had the first kiss? Not even French, not even deep, not even the kind of thing that ends up in movie romance. This kiss was more conflict, more desire to break, more, God damn it, I am not this world. And in that exchange of lips pressed and the release into infinity, in the walking back and going off and feeling like everything was a mistake, I am still here. 36 years later, realizing that that's an impossible number, but when you're making up things about the past, you no longer care about the years. All you care about is the part of your arc that things occurred in. The part before you even knew what awareness was, before you could even seek it out. Whether it was at my birth or the age of 11, there is an entire time in my life that I desperately try to reclaim. Every evening in my stretches, as I breathe to listen to the release of traumas, of all of my constricted musculature in the moment of things that were told as love but did not become so. You were the one in that moment, and I have carried you and given you meaning beyond our experience. But we are all on our return. So as I've made you symbol, I have also released you into the army of words that no longer hold me in sentences. Okay, but okay, all right, sure. Fuck it. So this one is just especially like Beau Sia vague, you know? It's like, oh yeah, I could go anywhere. So it is well, comma, that's new. It could be interpreted well, comma, that's mu. But I will look at the cursive and assume new. Well, that's new. That's hilarious. Well, that's new. I mean, well, that's, what the fuck is actually even really new anymore? I mean, goddamn. I mean, it was like, and this is not a stand-up routine, so calm yourself down, bro. Or is it? Because I swear to God, yo, that just. Oh, you know what it is? That really pisses me off. Well, that's new. What's fucking new? Everything's still in frames. Everything's still 2D. 3D is still electronic. No one understands the depth beneath cells. The spirit is still couched in books. Tinder is still fucking, goddamn, what's the thing before Tinder? I mean, that's the thing. Everything's the radio to me. The newspaper. It's all still the fucking newspaper. I mean, really. Why the fuck am I supposed to be impressed that you're still delivering me news in article format? Fucking put it in my bloodstream already. Goddamn, fuck these goddamn details. You trying to tell me? Everyone's like, polyamory is so goddamn awesome. It's so fucking brand new and goddamn amazing. No, dude. That shit is called, I'm going to take out every relationship I don't want to address and put it into all my sexual partners. I mean, seriously. In theory, this shit is dope. But let's be real. Just because you can navigate fucking 5 people at once does not mean that you are emotionally evolved to understand the responsibility and openness that connection requires. Are you really there? I mean, for serious. I mean, based on the way we dress, nothing has shown me that you're really there. I mean, we all dress with our goddamn insecurities held in. This fucking jacket is called Protect Me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here freestyling whatever may come out of my mouth. This shit could totally bomb and everyone would totally hate me like, yo, I went to one finally and like, whoa, dude. So this is my Protect Me jacket. So then I'm supposed to get intimate with 5 different motherfuckers, and I know it's 5, could be 3, could be 7, just whatever Jesus says, okay? We're going to keep it real on the odd numbers prime tip. But yeah, what's new? Everything is 3, 5, 7. I've yet to see somebody go 16 is the mathematics of the universe. We have all eternally been in the same place. All these details are just reiterations of the source. Everything, every goddamn cup and container is 2 hands in a river. So what the goddamn shit is new? I'm tired of all these goddamn details. I don't even want to have 4 arms anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not cool to me. 4 arms, wings, stupid. What I want to do is understand what planets feel. That's new. Bring me some shit like that. Bring me some motherfucker that's like, yo, I just did a TED Talk by not doing the TED Talk. Could someone please turn down a TED Talk that should totally do a TED Talk because the shit is stupid and is not new. None of it is new. The idea of using intellectual superiority to believe that you're educating the masses is a fucking joke. What an assumption. As if we could all digest it and understand it to the degree which it must be received. And yet none of us want to put in any effort to develop early childhood development to the point that none of this shit that we see here is fucking booty-ass bulls and ducks and shit, but we allow our symbolic imagination to birth all kinds of new worlds. But if we don't teach people that, they're just going to be hung up on the detail and say this one's too wide, this one's too skinny, this is kind of cool, but it reminds me of something I don't want to talk about. Do you know what I mean? So what is new? Fuck new. Everything's eternal. Like, what do planets feel? What do planets feel? God damn it. No one wants to tell me, no one wants to make the effort, because no one's paying a goddamn salary to nobody who wants to do something new. Everyone wants to pay a goddamn salary to someone who does something that's already proven to make money in some way. And everything new that seems of that still comes out of a fucking corporate model. So whatever. Boring. That one's boring. What? So this book, I wrote this book when I was 20 years old. And it really reveals that I wrote this when I was 20 years old. I'll tell you why. This motherfucker clearly, I don't know if you see this, it's called A Night Without Armor 2, The Revenge. It was written a month after A Night Without Armor came out, written by Jewel. And then I wrote this based on her poems, all the same titles, different poems. And then it got published and sold more than anything I've ever done because here's this. And this is one of the poems called Still Life. I don't remember Jules' version, so sorry. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself. Still life. 2 breasts asleep on my bed. Can I just start this all over real quick? I want to say this real quick. I made that 2 stanzas. I just want to tell you that. Just like, look at it. Look at the construction. You know what I mean? This is hilarious to me. Right, still life.
I like the type font.
Yeah, thank
the
you.
font's great.
I know it's classic, right? 2 breasts asleep on my bed. B cups that are tan and perfect. I can't even do this shit! Man, I hate this time. This is the part of the show that is always everyone watching me wrestle emotionally with what I used to share with the world. Arrogantly, confidently, as the greatest. Still life. 2 breasts asleep on my bed. B cups that are tan and perfect. I kiss the left nipple which hardens shortly after. I whisper, dear God, while Anna dreams about a Viking ship and red-haired men burning mountain villages. All right, cool. That's interesting. Oh, it's all good. That's not what this is about for me, you know. I'm such, oh God, this kid. The strip 2. I thought that after being on the boardwalk, holding hands, she would take me home and teach me about how a woman can love a man. She didn't know a damn thing, and the music she played while we were doing it sucked. So, that to me is fucking phenomenal. Because I really believe that. So there's the one takeaway here is, holy shit, the world captured where I was at 20 in a way that I cannot ignore or deny. So what am I going to do about that? Am I going to keep living in that place? Because there's definitely people that write me and say, that shit is so fucking hilarious. That's so funny. You're so wild and crazy, right? Or do I not? Because I look at this poem now and I go, man, how judgmental. Like, seriously. How many expectations did I carry to not appreciate that a woman took off all her clothes and wanted to allow me into her house and her space, and I'm not like, you know, like, she doesn't know I'm a killer yet, you know what I mean? Like, so this is still, like, you know what I mean? Like, so who is this kid? Right? Who is this kid that has set up a world? And that's the problem, right? You grow up alone, you write all these poems all day and night, suddenly you're God of world, and everything you ever experience is filtered through your expectation of the ideal, based on every edited tome before you. And I don't want to get trapped in that. So to allow this is to almost free it, and then to go against it is also to accept that I change. I change. You know, this is the bag. Some of y'all missed the bag. That's okay. You don't survive on it. You can. It's not a problem. Ooh, that's power. I made you do that. Talking to myself. Yeah, that's true. Oh, can I make it a real big bummer real quick, though? I want to make it a bummer. Yeah, let's take it down, dude. Let's take it down, let's take it up, let's take it around. Because y'all wonder, why is he so spry this month? So I'm making shit up and going off. So today, this is what we're talking about, the journey. I had this whole thing planned. I'm going to see Justin at noon. I'm going to show him basics of knife shit. We're going to have lunch about how one day we worked together. And then I'm going to write every poem for tonight. Right? I was like, oh, this is cool. Awesome. Fast write these poems. They even know I've been thinking for a month about all the things I'm going to write. Then he comes over and, you know, he shows up. It's a little bit late, but it's good because I got to work out in advance, which I know you all wanted to know, which is exciting. A relevant part of the story, yes. And then He comes over, I start showing him some basic, right? So I'm like, okay, this is triangle walk, this is how you walk, make sure you're adaptive, this is the philosophy behind the thing. All of a sudden, in Venice, I'm like here, I'm like, oh damn, this drunk, fucking heroin addict, weed head, whatever, someone is going off in Venice again. But then it continues, and we're like, what the fuck is this? And then a chainsaw stops. Somehow really, chainsaw stop. And then we run out to this yelling dude. And yo, it was really super fucked up. So basically, we ran over there. Another guy's trying to call 911. Justin ran down to get the cops. I opened this door. And this poor dude was just having a regular ass day, trimming trees. And now his friends had a belt wrapped around his thigh and were putting pressure on him, right? So he ran to get the police. Police came, ambulance came, 911 came. But I'm watching this whole, I watched it for like 20 seconds. It was like too crazy. Like even right now, what's messing me up, it's like the first time in my life, when people have passed in my life, I've been like, that's part of the, for some reason there's something about me that feels it's part of the cycle. But in this moment, what really disturbed me is that I was watching a life go. And we actually don't know what ended up occurring with him and, getting him in the ambulance, getting him to the hospital where he was at. We had this medical person who lived on the block that tried to look in on him. And she was like, just like me, she was like, I don't know, he lost a lot of blood. It was very graphic, and it really chilled me on many levels, right? Because there was that moment when the time cleared. It was like, okay, Justin, let's finish the thing, the knife thing. And you realize, it's like, wait a second, everything got changed today. Knife exchange left to right, we can work on all that later. Something changed today. We watched a man. And I think it feels like we lost him, And that's really sad because not only did that take us out, it also brought to light what we were teaching, right? Because I was trying to show him the philosophy behind why we start slow in knives, right? Because anyone can learn how to cut someone up real fast. The reason why you start slow is because you want to understand yourself in relation to the goal or the obstacle. And you want to make sure that you have a grounded foundation that's adaptive so that as things change around you, you can navigate what life is bringing you, right? And in this moment, we saw carelessness expose why we always have to be serious and aware. Not take ourselves seriously, but not take the blessing of life or the things we want to do or who we want to be or what we choose to engage in. We got to take that seriously. And that's really been on my mind today because that's how we got to this. It just wasn't a day for writing. And that happens. And that's part of this journey for me. Some of these times that you have been here before, some of those poems you've heard were written because I felt like I needed a certain number of minutes to do this show, even if maybe some of that stuff wasn't exactly where I was at in the process, or some of that stuff really wasn't true to the spirit of this. And this week, I decided to really allow myself self-care. And if the universe took me one way, to have faith that I would arrive in the next moment safely, that I would arrive without failing myself, that I would be able to be myself in the situations moving forward, that preparedness is not how many poems I can put together or how buff I can get in how much time, but how well I allow myself to adapt and be open to the living situation I find myself. And have faith in that process, And that's why I didn't write today. And that's what opened up this in me. That value of life revealed. And it's tough seeing the guy still. And the thing about that is, what is that price worth? Why is a sign shown? Does nothing have meaning? If so, why did we have symbolic knowledge? Why did we not remain as animals? And if nothing has meaning, why did we build things beyond our need? And if nothing has meaning, why was it on this day, in the moment with which I am trying to impose or express or show you, because I'm concerned that this dude will learn knives too fast and not understand the responsibility of engagement with others, right? And in that moment of trying to show him that, it is all revealed undeniably to both of us. It's crazy. I don't mind taking it down. I want a full life before I die. I will laugh before the night is over. Truly. And I feel for this. I feel for these losses. I feel for this carelessness. I feel for this sense of love that is so intent on seeking, it misses out on caring. It's a very interesting conundrum as we all grasp and reach for our ideas of self-love, how sometimes we miss that we don't live in a vacuum. This poem is called Heartbreak. It's happened to me before, as with all. At every stage, we find ourselves in that familiar position, not literal, more metaphoric, the insides reflecting an outer demeanor. It's happened so many times before. It often feels like a cycle that we all return to, that we're always forced to go to a place by which we break down and break open to see within the rubble what is in front of us that we did not see before. All that we ever ignored, full of light. All that we ever shoved away in the dim light of movies, at the loud sound of raves, at the cocktail party where everyone was important, all of it into the light. And as we sort through this in the silence of our darkness, for as friends care and love, we are all on our separate paths. So often it is in these times that we find ourselves alone. Even if our friends are with us at dinner, even if we're playing video games late into the night, even if this bong rip is the share of a 2-week-long bender, we find ourselves alone in the heartbreak. Looking at the pieces, wondering at the disarray, figuring out why did it crack like this, just so, how come there was no shattering this time? How come it was 2 halves this time? How come when it happened I didn't even see it? How come I didn't allow myself sight sooner when all the facts could not deny otherwise? And here we are in the aftermath. Is it rubble? Is it a mess? Is it everything we hate just crushed in front of us? Is it all that we built up of our expectations and our ideas and our want just torn to pieces in the destruction? What is this chaos that we are left in to sit and look at? This heartbreak. Is it just the worst party we've ever been invited to? Or is there something going on within the shadow? Something beneath the crevice of pieces? Is there a sign in the shapes and the way that they're arranged? Is there something that if I look close enough, the separation will allow a truth? The truth will allow a clearing. A clearing may allow a process. The stones may lead a way. This way may become a light. The light of what is shown, growing into the light of forward. Can I see forward while I sit here? Is this where it will lie? Or will I glue it all back together? Try to make it look exactly the same. And wait for when I have to look again. Okay, I just want to read the first line of this poem. We is the name of the poem, and I just want to read the first line. I doubt this will get two women to go down on me at the same time. I never said I was enlightened. Yeah. Range, baby. The boy got range. I'll read this other first line. This line, I love this first line. This poem is called Gimme Titties. It's okay. It's okay. Get uncomfortable. I don't like hearing that either. But the title required it. I'm not really into large breasts. Does that make me a genius? Yeah, for real? Y'all don't know how hard it is to write that. Because you don't see it in the context of what I'm leading a motherfucker to. This line is so hard to write. Because I'm not really into large. Nobody cares. Nobody knows what I'm into. And then the question, does that make me a genius? So dope. I'm serious. I'm not even playing around. I will be taught one day. Why do I believe that? Because it's true. This one is called, So You're Not Into Asian Guys. Love whom you love. Your definition of love, valid, even if only to you. Qualities of value determined by the individual experiencing reasons need no justification. I should have kissed the face off of Sin Luke, but now can only daydream a past free of self-hate. I've loved women whose ancestry traced back to cultures claimed by mothers, countries to whom my face will forever be seen as foreign, and Oklahoma. I never questioned the blockbuster casting that informed my choices, nor faced the intentions former leaders had for color. War had yet to factor into my love life. My love was a postcard for strangers. My love wore metaphorical corsets too tightly. My love was a product of insecurity before I knew that was not the realm love sprung from. Lost my way in the socialized until I began to listen beneath the flesh's framing. I'm no longer the type to run from myself in a woman. It's taken so many years to address what romantic comedies wanted me to escape. I had to live what didn't exist in the story of authors. Who am I to judge what consumes another in flames until all that remains is love? You're where you are. Be there as it serves now. You should not carry shame for what your heart tells you. Human beings develop their hearts better without fear and guilt. You aren't into Asian guys. I'm not even going to ask why. Just cross me off your list. I welcome a love that embraces all of me. All right. Let's do I don't know how many more of these we're going to do. I mean, it's crazy. Yo, drawings. All right, this poem I'm about to kick for y'all is called I Love Cheese. So whoever wrote I Love Cheese, I appreciate it. I love cheese most when my self-hate is highest. If you fucked me up today, these cheeseburgers are gonna be delicious. When no one is paying me and the rent is due, I find myself making shortcuts to dietary restrictions that should only say poison is what I've been asking for. That's what I'm asking for. I need you, cheese. I love the way you cause inflammation in my spine. You know what's fucking awesome about you, cheese? Farting louder than anyone else in the room. In your face, haters. because that's what you do for me, Cheese. You give me an understanding of what pain lives within us. You allow me to see beyond my skin. You take the mucus that I pretend is no longer there and say, look, at any moment in time, bingo! Goodbye, smelling things. Cheese, you are awesome. I don't even give a fuck what kind you are. I've been eating you since goddamn day one, and ain't no way I'm gonna stop. Because when I come home alone at 3 in the morning, it is you that I look to, Cheese, in the form of pizza. Because the last thing I need to do is not have an empty belly at night. I need to feel full of what you can bring me. It is like I am with someone, but not. That's the only way I can sleep. You help me so much, Cheese, and I love you. Because you keep me where I'm never gonna be. Which doesn't make sense, but here's the point. When you're on an energetic kind of train, you kind of just gotta keep going. So, tip to performers. This is my tip to performers, which is, thankfully, the last couple of weeks I was able to help my friend do some performances, and I was like, holy shit, I've done a lot of shows. I can help people perform. So here's a tip for you guys. When you end strong, and don't know what you're doing, or you're improvising, and you don't know what you're doing, you end strong, right? Because nobody gives a shit about the middle. They only remember the beginning and the end, and all the hot punchlines, because the ear cannot digest the way the eyes do. So you are in a different context when you are on stage sharing to others. So as you are coming to the close, you energetically wrap them in your voice. And then you bring it together. Because everything is going to be amazing from here on out. And I'm going to carry you on this train because it is in this moment that we can share a moment. And in that silence, you have it. It doesn't have to make sense. Energetically, they will feel great. They will feel awesome. I guarantee it. Because I've seen the most dopest writers fall apart because they didn't understand context. We keep living our lives believing that we will always present it with the ideal context. Why? Because everything is changing around us, so why? Everything is changing, so why? Shall I do 2 more of these? Please be hilarious ones, nothing that makes me sad inside. If you missed it, we have discovered today that singing is an artist's coping mechanism for insecurity during the transition moments when one does not know what they're doing.
Indeed, I'm guilty of it myself.
I know all them tricks. You see that? Pay attention to me. No, I don't know what's gonna happen next, but I create mystery. Oh, damn. Okay. Love. Okay, love, period. Why are people obsessed with it? Why do we let ourselves be influenced by portrayals in media, books, etc.? Why can't we be on our own and satisfied? All right. That is a question more than a poem. Okay, well, let me preface this. What we're trying to do is share a journey and experience together. So I'm not like the Asian old wise man that knows all. What I do know is that I'm willing to share my convicted opinions based on my limited experience. And what I do know is that you are all adults and are gifted with the ability to translate, filter, and utilize whatever is effective and impactful for you and disregard what does not fit. So my answer, why are people so obsessed with it? Okay. Number 1. Because, wow, okay, there's 3 on this probably. So number 1 would probably be everything that uses fear is generally sold to us as love. And because we are still animals, it is very fucking appealing and we'll buy that shit. And because fear is sold as love, we find ourselves in a cycle of addressing love from the filter of fear. So we are obsessed and can never relinquish because we never have the faith and confidence in letting go of that idea. And fear as love would be things such as comparison. You buy this to look good, right? Then love is now about looking good. Now you got to chase what looking good is based on who you think you like, not knowing that what you like about a person is not the external, but what the external may represent internally, etc. The second thing I would say, we're probably obsessed with love because for many, many years, most of the modern world, quote unquote, have lived in cultures by which love has to take a back seat to subservience. And because of that, many of us are not allowed to have that foundation of love to allow us the confidence to set out in the world on our own, because too many of our parents or those who will raise us have to make so much money just for us to survive. And I think the third reason, because I have to come up with a third reason, why are people so obsessed with it, is that none of this has value without it. Art doesn't have value without love. And guess what? I don't have any proof, but I'm going to say it today, and I'm going to stick by it forever. Without love, none of this has value. Quote. Okay. Why do we let ourselves be influenced by portrayals in media, books, etc.? That's very simple as well. It is difficult to get babysitters, so it's much easier to put a child in front of a screen. Early childhood development, one is given examples and expressions, and without a counter or a reference, that can become the norm. So if your volume of representation of love is coming from French novels, and not your parents, and not your friends, and not your other mentors, and you don't see these other examples, then you live in Cyrano de Bergerac's world, or the Count of Monte Cristo's world. And I'm only saying these references because I feel like this is what has inhibited me in my narrative, because I've lived in this you have to suffer for love kind of reality for too long, right? Another reason why we love media, books, and etc. is because it's edited in a fashion by which we do not have to suffer or experience pain. Every movie has one major turn, and then they fall in love forever. Guess what never happens in falling in love forever? One major turn. Never. Not once. I don't give a fuck who you are. There's going to be more than one major turn if you are lucky. And if you do not have more than one major turn, you have created and constructed a life by which you are not actually living anyway. Did I say that? Yeah. And I don't mean it mean. It's just like, okay, if your idea of life is cutting out everyone in your world, watching TV passively so you can judge the outside world, and having this codependent existence with someone where both your hate and love for each other is what drives you, that's kind of limited life, because there's more. Why can't we just be on our own and satisfied? Okay, that's very simple. Education. That's it. Education. We don't teach ourselves. We teach ourselves with words. We tell ourselves, hey, you gotta love yourself, kid. Love yourself. That's what it is. And then this kid may learn loving yourself from a 30-year-old professor that thinks loving yourself is like working out, eating right, sleeping right. Right? We don't know that not everyone thinks of love the same way. So we have this education by which whoever we happen to be exposed to, we just take it blanket, like, oh, that's love, cool, right? And then later in life, we get other references. But by that point, maybe our cognitive flexibility is so fucking formed and rigid because of experience or returning to the same neural pathways that our openness to that is not going to happen. Because if I grew up for 30 years learning what love was from my mom, who I hate and love at the same time, it's not my real mom, I'm just saying this as an example, and then someone said, yo, love is actually like this. So what am I going to do? Listen to this stranger, which would mean saying everything my mother ever taught me is bullshit and my mom has lied to me, or not listen to this stranger and be where I've been for 30 years, because that's a very comfortable neural pathway. So what I'm saying is education. We don't teach cognitive flexibility. We don't teach that all words are not the same in our interpretation and filtering. And we also don't give each other examples of love outside of rote things like fucking Valentine's Day and date night. So now we've compartmentalized everything, and it allows us to miss all the little nuances that actually build how we are drawn to each other and share relationship. Education. Education. Everyone says it, but all they really want to do is put more kids in schools. That just doesn't even make sense. How can you live in 2015 and think everyone has to learn in a single building? That don't make no sense to me. Okay. I mean, that's not even real, but all right. This poem is called Beau Sweet Biceps. I mean, you know, that's like, okay, cool. How the fuck not? All right. From a very young age, I've been weak. I never won an arm wrestling match in my life, even against the girls in elementary school. When it was time to do pull-ups for PE, I couldn't get that goddamn fucking necessary state-demanded one. I didn't have strong arms as a child. The other kids in 3rd grade used to tell me I had bird wrists, girl wrists. Yo, dog, you're gay. I've been gay since I was 8. My father thought I was 9. This has followed me forever regardless. And everybody wonders, how do I get away with dressing so loud? Sometimes we find other ways to make ourselves strong in the face of others. Some of us are just not given the gifts that would allow us to rule the animal kingdom. Some of us have to become dynamic earlier because the field is telling you that you will be crushed beneath the heels of those running the 100-yard dash faster than you. So I adapted, not out of want, necessity. I would have rather had the Cole Haans like the other kids. I would have rather had 2 Bugle Boy cardigans instead of the one that I wore 3, 4, 5 times too many until the other kids made fun of me and I never wore that shit again. I would have rather had a jacuzzi in the backyard to impress everybody in junior high. Unfortunately, money, height, the face that I was born with was not the era that I would have preferred my adolescence taking place in. But those were the cards I was dealt. And now I am looking back 20 years on all the words and all the judgments and all that I allowed from those that shared the same common geography as me to influence how I saw myself. And I am here in a beautiful moment because even from all of that pain, I am able to understand what pain created those things. What pain in the tall child that was always too gangly. What pain in the Adonis that could never be perfect enough and who had to always hold his perfection into the light no matter how he felt inside. What pain in the common face lost in the sea of common faces in Oklahoma. What pain in those who could not see the world as a broader thing, so had to attack what they feared for fear that there was more than who they were on this planet. It is in that place that I am free of their harm. It is in that place that I free myself to grow further than my need to be strong. For it is not strength that I seek at this point. I do not want to win any contests or dominate others or show you who I am. All I want to do is live in the power of having an ever-evolving relationship with myself, sweet biceps and all. I think that's a good, strong evening. So, thank you guys so much for participating in this. We are going to do it again next month. What did we set as our date for next month, Eric?
Forgot.
May 6th. So, next month it's May 6th. And once again, if you guys want to participate in this next month, now you have a sense of what I'm going to do. And I'm going to keep evolving it. Be aware I'm going to keep pushing the boundary on y'all. Because I love that you have ridden with me thus far. And I want us to climb a little bit more before this is through. Cool? Cool. Thanks. Have a great night. Get home safe.